One step beyond you. Only one step, only one step, one step beyond you. Only one step, only one step, one step beyond you. One step beyond you. Only one step.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Friday. It's your girl, Erica Lynn, and welcome to One Step Beyond You, home of motivation and inspiration. You guys know that each week I bring you different topics that will inspire and motivate you onto the next level of your life. This week, I know you guys have seen me post a post yesterday, and I posed a question. And the question was, what have you learned about yourself this week? I know what I learned about myself, but what have you learned about yourself? I asked the question because it is important to have growth in your life. It is important to accomplish big and small wins. All of it is important. All of it is important. All of it means something. But for example, big or small win, such as cleaning your house. That's a pretty big win. That's better than $1 million. Becoming debt-free, getting your driver's license for the first time, having a relationship with your mate or your family. That's pretty big. Some people are not really connected to their families. And so having a great relationship, that's a big one for me. Buying a new house, I see that coming in the near future as well. Or my absolute favorite, folding laundry. That's a big win. You know why I say that's a big win? Because oftentimes many of us don't like to do laundry. You got to go down in the basement, put it in the washer and dryer, and then take the time to fold it when you probably feel like you could be doing something else with your life. And it's pretty boring. However, folding laundry can be important. It could be a big win to some people, especially if they specialize in folding laundry. Anyway, before we get started, I want you guys, no matter what you are watching this show on, I want you to like, follow, or subscribe. And don't be selfish. Don't keep me all to yourself. Make sure that you share this video right now. Share it. I know you guys love me. I know you want to keep me to yourself, but share the video so other people can enjoy some of Erica Lynn too. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, God. I crack myself up. I don't know where I get these jokes from. Some people say I'm corny, but I enjoy me. Well, you guys heard me talk about big and small wins. You do know the list will never end. I can name all day long big wins and small wins. However, in order to have those wins, you must first learn about yourself. The reason is, if you're growing and fixing areas in your life, how can you do so wholeheartedly if you don't know who you are in order to get what you want, right? So one example would be, if you want to become debt-free, how can you do so if you don't understand your spending habits? Like, are you an impulsive spender? Are you one of those people that stand in the line at the store and all the things that's in the aisle, you like, oh, I want that. Let me get this candy. Oh, I need that. But that wasn't on your list. I think that means you're an impulsive spender. Or if you wrote a list and then you go to the store and everything else ends up in your basket, then what's on the list? I think they might classify you as an impulsive spender. But I'm no pro. You know what your pockets can handle. Do you keep a monthly budget and actually stick to it? So this month, after your bills are paid, and say you have $300 left over, and that's available for you to enjoy yourself. But when you see a pair of shoes that you want, ooh, this sharp coat, perhaps fellas, you want to take a young lady out on the town and have her dinner and dancing. Or you just might want to kick it and hang with your friends. All these things can add up and take you over and outside of your budget. But then you stop and you say to yourself, That wasn't in my budget. Have you guys ever done that? Went to the store and you went for one thing and you bought something else, and then you think about what's really in your bank account and you go, dang, that wasn't in my budget. So many of us do that. But you learn something about yourself. You learn that you need a money manager. Perhaps if you're a man, you need a spouse that say, honey, you know you're not supposed to spend that. And if you're a woman and you have a husband, allow him to manage the money, right? So all the part about knowing where you stand, knowing yourself, that means that you know that, well, I can't be responsible for the finances in the relationship, and somebody, the spouse has to take care of it. But if you're not in a relationship and you know you're bad with money, the best advice I could give you is know yourself, and you better get it together, because ain't nobody gonna pay your bills but you, right? So get it together. But I always don't mind giving examples about myself as well. One of my goals is to have a high rated, highly successful, highly subscribed to podcast, especially on my YouTube channel. But one of the things I had to do this week was I had to edit my very own YouTube videos. Man, that was pretty challenging. My producer, he had to go and follow his dreams. He'll be back, but he's around the world skateboarding and becoming a pro skater. So proud of the young fella. So you can't allow your dreams to move forward and stop and hinder somebody else's dream. So all about being a motivator. I have motivated him and encouraged him to follow his dreams. And so because he can't be here to produce my show, I had to do it myself. Nevertheless, I can't stop the process. I can't stop the progress that I have accomplished. And I learned a lot about myself. When the videos had to get edited, like each video I did, I got better and better. And then I sent out things to family and friends, like, what do you think about the beginning and the ending? So you guys don't get to see the beginning and the ending on Facebook, but if you go to my YouTube channel, Erica Lynn, you'll be able to see all the cool things. So like as I'm talking to you all, something appears right here on the screen. There's something appears down here on the screen, or you get to hear the cool music. But I learned all of that this week, and I'm super, super proud of myself. And what that did is that taught me a lot of lessons. Like, I have learned that in life, there's always going to be challenges. But what's most important is how you overcome those challenges. How when my back is up against the wall, how I come out fighting. How I learned that I am not a quitter. I also learned that I am true to my mission and my passion and my purpose about helping people. Also, I learned that when I want something bad enough, I'll fight for it. I will go after it, learn whatever I need to learn, gain whatever knowledge that I need to gain to obtain it. So, what I want to say is I learned a lot about myself this week. And what I learned is because my passion and my purpose is one of the things is doing this Facebook Live and making sure I deliver a message and making sure that I show up in front of this camera wholeheartedly. I set a bedtime on Thursday night. No matter where I am or what I'm doing, I just go home and I go to bed. And even if I just take my clothes off and throw them on the floor, I get up in the bed and I go to sleep. Because truly, you guys, the part that you guys don't see, I get up at 4 a.m. to prepare and make sure I have everything together. That way that I'm not giving you guys some bold material. You're able to get something from watching my Facebook Lives. So although it's challenging, I do it because I have passion. And that taught me a lot about myself. I had to learn that Erica gets sleepy. Ooh, and I've seen myself on the camera when I'm sleepy and tired. It wasn't pretty. So when I ask you guys, what have you learned about yourself this week? I ask because I want you to begin to grow. Then when you begin to grow, the Bible says, know thyself. So when you know thyself, you have self-knowledge. Self-knowledge is important. I pose the question again to you guys. What have you learned about yourself this week? Drop it in the comments below. I want to see. Please drop it in the comments below. What have you learned about yourself this week? I found a pretty cool checklist on this website called lifeskillsthatmatter.com. And as you begin to move in all the areas of your life, it is important to do a self-evaluation. This way, you will know how to move accordingly. This checklist will have you really thinking about yourself, really thinking about some things. And I thought the checklist was pretty cool. And so we'll go through some things on the checklist today. And I hope it blesses you and help you guys in all areas of your life. Is that okay with you guys? How you doing, Miss Lakeisha? How are you this morning? Wow, it's pretty powerful. So the first thing on the checklist is your energy needs. Example, how much energy do you need? How much sleep do you have to get to wake up in the morning to produce the energy that you will need to go forward in your life? And do you need to take vitamins? Do you need to exercise? What is it that you need to do so that you can have the energy that you need? But most importantly is understanding and knowing how much energy do you need. Number 2 would be your personal productivity. Are you self-motivated? Are you a self-motivated person? Or do you need me to come in and totally motivate and inspire you to do all that you can do in your life? But truly, that's a real question. Are you a self-motivated person? Do you need a team? Or are you lazy? I need you to be honest when you're doing this self-checklist. And I hope you're writing these things down. So after the show is over, you can go back and I'll post them so you can see again these steps to this personal checklist of things that you need to ask yourself. So your personal productivity. Number 3 is your why. Why are you doing this? What or who is the reason that you want to grow? Who or what is the reason that you want to play big in your life? Who or what is the reason that you want to enjoy all those small wins so that when the big wins come, you are phenomenal. You're big and bold and beautiful. Who or what or why? Who or what is your why? Ask yourself. Number 4 is your values. What is important to you? Do you even have values? That's a real question. Do you even have values? Because and I want to be politically correct. Sometimes the newer generation, they were not raised with the values that we had growing up from the older generation. The older generation, they taught us a lot of things. And the newer generation, they just kind of feeling their way through things and not necessarily have values. I'm not saying that pertains to everyone. But I am saying is, what is your values? And what is important to you about having these values? How can these values sustain and hold you true to yourself as you go through and understand more about yourself this morning? Number 4 is your motivation. Does your kids motivate you to get out there and go to work and grind hard and make all that money? Do seeing a big paycheck, is that motivation? How about being debt free? Is that motivation enough for you? Well, I wanted to see a smile on my spouse's face back in the day. And so what I did was I folded the laundry all nice and neat. And I put a nice little note on top of the laundry. See, laundry was challenging for me, although I could do it. But I always wanted to learn how to fold like the ladies in the department store. I know that there's classes you could take. But folding laundry was not a small win for me. That was a big win. So that was motivation to see the smile on someone else's face. Is that motivation for you? How you can do small, kind acts of goodness that can put a smile on somebody's face? Does that motivate you to get to learn and understand yourself a lot better? Well, that's number 5. Number 6 is your learning styles. Do you know your learning styles? You guys know that there's 4 different learning styles? The visual, that you have to actually see it in order to learn it. Somebody can't just tell it to you. You got to see it to grasp it. Maybe perhaps, just actually seeing it being done, seeing somebody actually work the process or progress. That's possibly one of your learning styles. Audio. Like, you might not be a person that can read books, but you can sit at your desk and listen to the book in your ear, and you can learn that way. The kinesthetic learner, I think that was me. Well, I got a couple different of these, but the kinesthetic learner is me. I'm pretty hands-on. I have to actually, you teach me something, and I have to actually get up and do it in order to learn it. And the last one is reading and writing. And so you might have to be a person that actually have to read it and turn around and write what you read in order to gain and grasp the information. And so perhaps that could be something that you need to look into about learning and understanding yourself. That is important. You do need to know what is your style of learning, so that as you go forward and building your career and building your company and building this family and building friendships, you need to understand that part of you. How can you learn? Because other people is going to teach you stuff along the way, but then you need to show them or tell them how to teach you so you can grasp the information that they're giving you. Does that make sense to anybody? Right? Let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Drop me some hearts. I love hearts. Some smiley faces. Number 7 is your habits. What habits do you have? You need to understand that part about you. What habits do you have? Do you have good habits? Do you have bad habits? Understanding your habits is important. So let's see one of my habits. I have a bad habit. I like to eat a bowl of cereal at night before I go to bed. And the reason why I say that that's a bad habit is because at the point where I was exercising regularly and working out with the personal trainer, I often would tell him I would go home and eat a bowl of cereal. And he said, you think about all the things that you're putting in your body. You're putting the sugar, that milk, all of that stuff. And he was absolutely correct, because when I would get up at 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning to go exercise, man, that stuff was terrible on my stomach. I had to learn the lesson. Man, I learned the hard way. If you guys get my drift. Oh my God. And number 8 is your natural strengths. Your natural strengths. What is your natural strengths? Like what things that is naturally with what's in you? So for example, if you're a natural leader like Leah just instantly stepped in and says, I'm going to make a change. I'm going to do something. I'm going to make my mark on this world. And she just jumped in and handled the whole union vote and made her presence known and guided all these people into voting for the union, voting for their rights, fighting for themselves. Like, that was her natural strength. She was a natural leader. Even when she questioned herself about, is this speech going to be effective enough? Man, those speeches was pretty powerful. So what are your natural strengths about yourself? Number 9 would be your personality. Are you funny like me? I like to joke a lot, but what is your personality? Are you a serious person? Are you a sad person? Do you just walk around like, but down in the inside, you're really a bear and a sweetheart and a lovable person? Like, you really truly need to understand your personality, because if you are a certain way and you meet someone and they are thrown off by like the facial expression or thrown off who you are, then you could just tell them, I know I look this way, but that's not how I really am in the inside. And then they could begin to look past what your outer shell is and truly get to know you. So when you know yourself, you can teach other people how to know you and how to get along with you too. And all your crazy. Oh, that's funny. Number 10 would be your emotional intelligence. One example I could think of for emotional intelligence would be, do you guys know that Oprah Winfrey, before she started the Oprah Winfrey Show, she was a news broadcaster. And she would do all these little stories as a news broadcaster. And she would always cry in her stories. So the news, they actually terminated her because she cried all the time. Then her life, she went on and started the Oprah Winfrey Show, where she cried for however many years the Oprah Winfrey Show came on. But what that meant was, no matter how much she cried, she is a very intelligent woman. And she was a person who was confident in her emotions. So she had emotional intelligence. So I think that it is okay to be an emotional person. As long as you know that I might be sitting up here crying, but that doesn't mean I'm a weak person. That don't mean I'm a punk. And what about, I remember, I'm going to give you a personal example about me, right? And it's funny. As I was coming up, all the girls used to want to fight me in elementary school and middle school and jump on me. And I would get so angry. I would just be crying. I would be so angry. But that means that I had emotional passion to fight and kick somebody's butt, even though I didn't win. However, I was an emotional person. I had emotional intelligence. I knew that perhaps if I got mad enough, maybe I might win one of these fights. Oh, yeah. Anyway, good morning. Oh, let me get back on track. Number 11 is your self-confidence. Your self-confidence. Your self-confidence means that when you go to start a new job or start a new company, there's always going to be the naysayers. There's always going to be challenges. There's always going to be things that get in your way. But when you have self-confidence, you can stand up there bold and proud. And you can say, I'm doing what it is that I want to do. That I'm going after the career that I want to go after. That I'm starting the company that I want to start. But you can only do that when you have self-confidence. Because if you don't have self-confidence, a couple of weeks in, when things start getting challenging, you're like, oh my God, why did I do this? I'm about to quit. But when you have self-confidence, when things get challenges and you saying, oh my God, why is everything attacking me? Why is nothing going right? Then you stand up and you stand outside yourself and you can say, I could do all things through God that strengthens me. And you do that with self-confidence and with a lot of faith. Okay? Okay. Number 12 is your fears. What is your fears? Do you know what your fears are? So if you know what your fears are, then you can address those fears, or you can talk with someone that's with you. Say, I'm afraid of spiders, and I can't go in that room, or I can't go in that house. I can't start that company because it is full of spiders. But let me tell you why I use spiders for example. Maybe that wasn't a good example, but I'm going to tell you like this. So this morning, as I was preparing for the live, what you guys can't see is I sit on 2 pillows, because although my chair come up high enough, it doesn't position me properly, and so that I'm sitting right in the middle of the screen. So I pulled these 2 pillows off the floor that I sit on every week, and it had a big, huge spider like this attached to the pillow. I stepped back. I said, what the? Can't tell y'all what I said. But anyway, immediately I ran and got a shoe. And I had said to myself, I know I'm afraid of spiders, but either I get it or it get me. And the show won't start at 7. So I got the spider, needless to say. So forgive me, creature lovers, if you're watching this. But it was either me or him. And as you can see, I'm on this live. It wasn't me. So I had to face my fears and get that spider, because there was no man in the house to get it for me. So that was one of my fears. So you guys know, we just went through the checklist. There was 12 things on the checklist. of getting to know yourself or understanding these things about yourself before you can move on to the next level. But as we know, life is a huge, broad subject. And there is a lot to know about ourselves and a lot to know about life. We can never learn everything in one life. I have some things that we can use to help design your lifestyle based upon what we learned today, based upon what you learning once you do this checklist. But we can't cover it all today. We're going to have to cover it, the rest of it, next week in next week's live. But before I go, I want to say this to you guys. In life, we all have challenges, needs, and wants. It is not about the end of the road that matters. It is about the inner strength we pull from deep down inside of us while we're on our way there. So when your back is up against the wall, I want you to dig down deep inside your inner core and pull out all of your visions, all of your dreams, all of your purpose, all of your passion, ancestry, your energy, your why, your values, and your motivation. And you know what I want you guys to do with all of that? I want you to take one step beyond you. God bless you guys. It was fun seeing you all this week. Next week, I want you to come back and join me next week for part 2. And next week, we'll be discussing some of the key subjects you can use to help design your life. Join me on my YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. YouTube, Erica Lynn Gillis. And if you're watching me on YouTube, go on over to Facebook. Make sure you like and follow on the One Step Beyond You channel. And I am on the gram. One Step Beyond You on the ground. I appreciate and I love you guys for joining in with me every week to get some awesome information. I really hope this was helpful. I want to hear comments below. Make sure you go back. Those who joined the show later, go back and watch it again. Write down the 12 things on the checklist that you need to check about yourself, that you need to understand and learn about yourself, because you have to know you before somebody else can know you. You have to be able to tell them about you. No one else can tell you about you but you and God, right? So go through the checklist, understand you, then you'll be able to play big and play bold in your life and your decisions and your choices. Don't hesitate. I love you guys, and I'll see you next week. And again, and just remember, it only takes just one step beyond you.
Only one step, only one step, one step beyond you. Only one step, only one step, one step beyond you, one step beyond you. Only one step, only one step, one step beyond you.